Arizona is burning, not just from the heat, but from something worse. People are disappearing into the streets. Mothers, veterans, teenagers sleeping in tents, living in cars, and no one is coming to help. This isn't a movie, this is real life, and it's happening right now in the middle of Arizona. It was once a place for fresh starts, big skies, warm sunsets, and second chances, but now those same skies hang over more than 14,000 people with nowhere to go. Tents line the sidewalks of Phoenix. Families park their cars in quiet corners just to sleep through the night. Backpacks become pillows, windows become walls, parks meant for kids are now full of tarps and blankets. This is happening in big cities like Tucson, in small towns like Prescott, in every corner of the state. The same story repeats, people losing everything and still trying to hold on. There are those you don't see, teenagers hopping from couch to couch, grandparents sleeping in old vans, single moms working full-time but still stuck in motels. In a state full of sunshine and hope, why are so many falling through the cracks? Where do you go when there's nowhere left to go? Arizona used to be affordable. People moved here to start over, but now rent is rising faster than anyone can keep up. In Tucson, the average one-bedroom apartment costs $1,450 a month. That's nearly half of someone's paycheck if they work a minimum wage job. Retail workers, waiters, cleaners, they can't afford a place to live. They're working full-time and still sleeping in their cars. In Glendale, a city with 250,000 people, less than 10% of housing is actually affordable. The rest, too expensive, already taken, or impossible to get without perfect credit. Young adults aging out of foster care have nowhere to go. They're handed a few $100s and told good luck. But luck isn't enough when rent takes everything you have. Emergency shelters are packed. In cities like Scottsdale, people are turned away every night. Wait lists stretch for weeks, some never get a call back. In rural areas, things are even worse. Some people walk miles just to get a warm meal. No shelters, no buses, no help, just heat and silence. People want to rebuild. They want to work, rest, feel safe. But how do you build anything when the ground keeps falling out from under you? Arizona isn't just in a housing crisis, it's in a survival crisis, and thousands are stuck in the middle of it. When you lose your home, you start losing choices too. No bed, no safety, no plan for tomorrow, just survival day by day. In downtown Phoenix, where crowds gather for concerts and basketball games, some women trade their safety for food or a place to sleep. Some teens disappear into silence, doing whatever it takes to stay alive. Along the highways, it's easy for dangerous people to take advantage. No one's watching, no one's protecting. In 2024, Arizona was one of the top 10 states for human trafficking. Most of it starts with people who are just desperate. Even when someone wants help, there's almost nowhere to go. In places like Tempe, support programs can't keep up. People are ready to change, but they're put on waiting lists or handed a phone number that no one ever answers. In rural counties, police are often the only option. Instead of help, people get arrested. Not because they're dangerous, but because there's nothing else. It's not about shelter anymore. It's about safety. It's about dignity. It's about surviving in a world that keeps shutting the door. One teenager left foster care with a backpack and a few $100s. He was promised a job, but it was a lie. He ended up sleeping outside, doing favors for food. Now he's trying to get back on his feet with the help of a mentor. One step at a time, that's all he can do. Something is changing in Arizona's neighborhoods, not just the people, but the feeling. In Mesa, families used to walk through parks after dinner. Now, many don't even feel safe doing that. Not because someone threatened them, but because they don't know what to expect anymore. In Central Phoenix, emergency calls have gone up. People report loud noises, arguments, strangers sleeping nearby, but often, the ones causing concern are just trying to stay warm. They're tired, hungry, alone. Still, they're the ones getting pushed out, because the shelters are full and there's nowhere else to go. But some cities are trying something new. In Tucson, mental health workers now team up with police. They don't show up with cuffs, they show up with care. It's slow, it's not perfect, but it's a start. Safety isn't just about quiet streets, it's about giving people a chance to feel human again. Some turn to substances to cope, not because they want to, but because they're in pain, because they're cold, tired, scared. In Prescott, recovery centers can only help a small number of people. Most get turned away. In small towns like Kingman, cheap synthetic drugs are everywhere. People wait weeks for help. Some never make it that far. Parents are juggling jobs and trying to stay clean. It's a fight every single day. This isn't about weakness. It's about being stuck in a system that moves too slow, or doesn't move at all. There's one woman in Flagstaff who used to live in her car. Substances were the only way to get through the nights. But someone gave her a second chance, and that changed everything. Arizona's safety nets are falling apart. In Pinal County, over 400,000 people live across thousands of miles, but there's not a single public psychiatrist. Schools are struggling too. In Avondale, 1 of every 5 students misses school regularly. Counselors are stretched thin. Classrooms carry the weight. Older adults can't even apply for help online. No internet, no guidance, no response. In cities like Surprise, housing waitlists stretch for months. Caseworkers are overwhelmed, people are forgotten. The system isn't completely broken, but it's cracking. Arizona has over 14,000 people without homes in 2025. But housing only gets a small slice of the city budget. Encampments are cleared, but there's nowhere else to go. Shelters run out of space, people are pushed further out. In suburbs like Peoria, it feels far away. People don't vote, they don't speak up, and change never comes. But some help doesn't come from government programs, it comes from everyday people. In Sedona, volunteers give out hygiene kits. In Cottonwood, hot meals are shared at the park. In Safford, a health van brings care to forgotten roads. In Page, a small library teaches job skills. In Casa Grande, cooling stations save lives. These movements are small but powerful. In Phoenix, outreach teams hand out water and listen. In Tucson, gardens grow in the middle of struggle. In Mesa, recovery homes offer shelter with understanding. In Glendale, libraries help people apply for jobs. None of this is easy, but it's real and it matters. Arizona's skies still shine golden at sunset, but for over 14,000 people, that promise feels far away. Still, there is hope. A mother still sends her kids to school. A teenager is rebuilding one step at a time. A woman who was once homeless now mentors others. In Chandler, youth are being guided toward brighter futures. In gardens, in libraries, in parks, change is happening. But kindness alone isn't enough. We need stronger policies, more housing, real action. Arizona's future depends on all of us, on whether we show up, speak up, and care. Because tomorrow isn't built by silence. It's built by those who refuse to walk away. What will you do next? Every time you stop and listen, you make a difference. Every time you speak up or help someone in need, you bring light into someone's dark day. Change doesn't need to be huge to matter. It can be a kind word, a shared meal, a donation, or even a vote. Arizona's crisis won't end overnight, but piece by piece, hand by hand, it can get better. This is more than just a story, it's a call. Let's be the generation that cared enough to act, because the future is ours to shape together. And if you've ever felt like one person can't make a difference, remember this. Every movement starts with a single voice. Every life change starts with one moment of compassion. Someone out there is holding on because of people like you. So don't look away, look closer, that's where hope begins. Even the smallest act can be the spark that starts real change. A conversation, a share, a single vote, it all matters. The crisis is real, but so is our power to make a difference. Don't just watch, be part of the solution. Arizona is waiting, the time is now. If you've made it to this part of the video, it means you care, and that already makes you part of the solution. Together, we can rewrite the story, not with pity, but with purpose. If you believe in hope, in dignity, in second chances, then be the reason someone gets one. Comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe because this isn't just a video, it's a movement and it starts with you. And thanks for watching!